Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. My name is FPL Meerkat and today I've got my Game Week 14 review and my Game Week 15 team selection. We've only got 2 more weeks now until the World Cup. I'm sure we're all excited about the World Cup football and a little bit of a break from FPL, but just 2 more game weeks left until that international break. So let's get straight into the video. So Game Week 14 was a pretty poor game week, unfortunately. A red arrow of about 300,000 places and now 1.5 million overall. To be honest, looking at the team, I wasn't that disappointed with it. 61 points with a 4-point hit taken. Basically, quite a lot changed from my viewpoint from my last episode of this, my last video. Basically, we got early team news that Erling Haaland was not going to feature for Man City and that Phil Foden was going to start on the bench against Leicester. So I had the bright idea with that 15 minutes or so that we had to make changes to swap out Haaland to get Darwin Núñez into the team and then also switch out Maddison to Rashford. So those were my 2 transfers that I made there. And to be honest, I'm not going to beat myself up about the choice that much. I think Darwin Núñez was a good pick against Leeds. He got a lot of chances. He just wasn't finishing them. He really could have scored a huge amount of points there. But to be honest, I really should have captained Salah. He did get a goal. He probably was a better option than Darwin at the end of the day. That would have scored me 5 more points, I believe. Would have been a bit of a better game week, and I don't think I'd be on a red arrow if that was the case. That's how close these things are. And the reason I did Maddison to Rashford for a hit was so that I could then do Mitrovic all the way up to Haaland in case he was fit again for this game week. So I wasn't too fussed about losing the value on Haaland there. But as you can see there, I've now got a flag on Tony because he's now suspended for the next game. So yeah, that's really annoying. My front line looks absolutely shocking for next game week, which we'll get to in a bit. But apart from that, honestly, a lot of returns everywhere on the pitch. So I'm really surprised that the score is that low. It is mainly just the forwards and the captaincy blank there. Rare getting 3 points, not too fussed about that. Unfortunately, they didn't keep a clean sheet against Wolves there. Cancelo getting his regular 6-pointer, the clean sheet against Leicester. No bonus for him though, unfortunately, which is quite rare when Man City win 1-0. He usually gets all 3 bonus points. Speaking of bonus points, Trippier getting 11 points. He's just irreplaceable, isn't he? It's such incredible value at the moment, but everyone has him, and for good reason. That you shouldn't be getting rid of Trippier. There's just too much value, and I don't think you could. There's no better option than Trippier in defence at the moment. Honestly, we should probably be considering captaining him more often. Well done if you have captained him recently. And Dalot there getting 9 points. Really solid returns from my entire backline there. Dalot getting another 9-pointer. I believe he's got 26 points for me in the last 4 game weeks, I think, 4 or 5. Yeah, absolutely fantastic returns from Dalot there. Really happy with him. Rashford, the new signing, getting 8 points as well. Happy about that, although thinking about it, should have probably just got Almiron in since he's been playing so well, and he did get more points, but Rashford was a nice little differential. I didn't have a lot of time to make those decisions, so I probably would have preferred Almiron, but I quite like having Rashford in the team, and he did get a well-deserved goal in that Man United game. Happy with the returns he got there. Salah obviously getting 7 points, getting a goal. Quite a fortunate goal, to be honest. Liverpool were offering a lot in attack, but just weren't finishing their chances, and just so happened the ball fell to Salah for him to get his goal in that game. Martinelli also getting a goal. A lot of clean sheet points and goals there, but not many bonus points from the team. Happy with his performance. I was considering getting rid of Martinelli. I just didn't think Arsenal would do that well against Nottingham Forest, and I'm very glad I held on to him because Arsenal absolutely smashed Nottingham Forest. Yeah, I think Liverpool are just terrible at the moment. Andreas getting 3 points as well. Not great. Him considering he blanked, and also it was between him and Andreas and Anderson for who I'd play. And Anderson, as you can see on the bench, did outscore him. Really annoying that the 1 week I've benched Anderson, he finally keeps a clean sheet. I kind of, against Southampton, that's more than likely going to happen, but the upside of Andreas is just so huge. I was always going to play him over Anderson. Darwin getting a blank as well, only 2 points. I just decided to take a big risk. I honestly should have captained Salah. I should have picked the safe option there. But yeah, Darwin should have had a lot of points. I think he will have an absolute haul at some point this season. Just hoping it's before the World Cup, whilst he's still in my team, and probably will be up until the World Cup now. As Tony, as you can see there, getting a yellow card at the very end of the game. It's just Maddison all over again, getting himself suspended and forcing my hand in terms of a transfer this week. And Mitrovic also getting 1 point. Mitrovic had a shocker. He had, I think, 10 shots in that Fulham game and not a single goal, not a single return. He really had a shocker. He was getting into good positions. He didn't have like a bad game, but you're a striker. You need to be getting your shots on target. And Mitrovic's usually so clinical. So yeah, don't know what happened there, but he certainly got lots of chances. Not too optimistic about him next week, but yeah, so a relatively poor game week, all things considered. It's one of my highest scores in a while, to be honest, so it's a shame that it's such a huge red arrow. It is quite surprising how many places I've lost there, considering that 57 was, I think, just below average. I think it's because so many other players that I don't own returned. De Bruyne's highly owned and returned. Almiron did. Jesus did. Yeah, quite a few players returning high. Obviously, Wilson getting that 19-pointer as well. God, I wish I got in Wilson rather than Darwin. Yeah, that would have been a huge green arrow if I'd done that. But yeah, hindsight, you know. Wilson was really lowly owned going into the week. He's now, I think his percent ownership's gone up by about 300%. He's now gone from about 2% to 6 or 7. Could be on 8 or 9. Probably going to be 10 by the deadline. But yeah, so not a very good game week, but we're near the break now, so let's just get through this final push up until the break for the World Cup. Let's have a look at the Game Week 15 team. So the Game Week 15 team is lining up like this at the moment, a 4-4-2 formation. It's probably not going to stay like this. It almost definitely isn't going to stay like this. As you can see there, the captaincy is currently on Salah. I can tell you right now it will not be by the deadline. I'm just waiting off to make my transfers. The plan is to get Haaland straight back in for this week. It was just take a little punt on someone in the previous game week and then get him straight back in because I have the funds to do so. 5.5 million in the bank to go from either Mitrovic or Tony up to Haaland. It was going to be Mitrovic as he's got that horrible away fixture against Man City this week. But it's going to have to probably be Tony now as... he's suspended for this game, so he won't get any points, whilst Mitrovic could still get something against Man City. To be honest, I'd like to transfer out both Tony and Mitrovic, which is quite annoying because I was so happy to own them for the previous 3 weeks, and now I want to get rid of both of them. There's just so many better options and so many differentials now available up front. But yeah, in terms of the goalkeeper dilemma as well, I think I will be going for Raya. Away at Nottingham Forest seems like a much better fixture than Everton away for Leicester, although Leicester's defence has been very good in recent weeks, only keeping Man City down to 1 goal as well. So I could easily see a clean sheet there for Leicester. Quite a big dilemma for me there. I think Raya's just got more potential for save points, as I think the clean sheet's slightly more likely for Brentford this week, but we will see about that. In terms of who drops out of the starting 11 for the transfer, it will probably be Anderson again. I can see West Ham definitely getting a goal against Crystal Palace, and all the other players I'm very happy with playing at the moment. I think Martinelli against Chelsea is still an alright fixture. Chelsea have looked miles off it recently. Salah and Darwin against Spurs. Honestly, Liverpool have been playing better against the tougher sides anyway, so I'm quite happy to keep them for that, even though their form, their expected data is still very good. It's just they're not getting the chances. So I think we can keep a little bit more faith in them for now. Just steer clear of the captaincy, I would, because Haaland is just clearly going to be the best choice if he is fit. I believe he's out of the Champions League fixture tonight for Man City against Sevilla, so we'll have to wait and see what he's like. If Haaland is out for that game, I'm honestly not too sure what move I will make because I've got 5.5 million in the bank and I definitely want to get Haaland back in, but there is only one more game week. after game week 15, game week 16 until the international break. So I'm not 100% sure what I'd do. I'm honestly considering transferring in De Bruyne, but unfortunately I would have to get rid of Martinelli, I believe. I think I can go from Martinelli to De Bruyne. I might have got the maths wrong there, but I do want to use that money somehow. And Kane's got that horrible fixture against Liverpool at home, although maybe it's not that bad, to be honest. But I'd rather spend the money on someone who's got a better fixture this week, and it will probably be a Man City player, right? That Man City fixture home to Fulham is certainly the best to target on paper. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping Haaland is fit so I can just transfer him back in, and that will be my transfer for the week. And I'll just have to play Mitrovic and just hope he gets something, basically. I don't think I'll be starting Andreas over Mitrovic. And I mean, I could play. Tell you what, I could do Tony to Haaland, Captain Haaland, obviously, and then bench Mitrovic and play Anderson instead. That might be a poll that I do on my Twitter. Who would you start, Mitrovic or Anderson? I think Anderson's more likely to get points, but obviously Mitrovic could still get a penalty. It could easily happen in that game, and I don't think many people will be starting Mitrovic in that fixture, so it could be a nice little differential. But I am playing Cancelo, so if I play both of them, I'm almost guaranteed to not get points from one of them. So yeah, quite a bit of a dilemma there. Not too confident about the team this game week, but it's so close to the international break now. I don't want to do anything rash and take a lot of hits because it's just not worth it when we're going to all be wildcarding in 2 weeks anyway. I'm just going to leave the team how it is, make one transfer. It will probably be Tony up to Haaland if he is fit. If it's not, could be anything. Could be a really spicy team for this game week if he's out. But yeah, let's have a look at who did the best in the mini league this week. So the highest score in the mini league this week, we have another new face, Corio19, I believe is the name there. FC Lever with 86 points. A huge score for you this game week. Obviously, you can see there with the captaincy on De Bruyne. It was on Haaland, but obviously he went off and the vice armband takes effect for the double points. De Bruyne getting that double points. Almiron as well, great pick there. Still keeping Jesus getting a 9-pointer too, really good. Trippier, the double clean sheet as well for Newcastle, and Martinelli points as well. Unfortunately, Saka getting injured there as well. No chip even used as well, so 86 in this game week was pretty huge. Although it's still only a game week rank of about 300,000. So even it was a very high scoring game week, but 86 was still a very, very respectable score and gained a lot of ground. As you can see there, a very colourful bench with all the injuries. He made one transfer this week. I believe that was Gross to Almiron. Gross did actually end up returning as well. Quite funny, but Almiron obviously scored more, so a good transfer there. Could have potentially gone Andreas up to Almiron. I'm not too sure about the guy's funds in the bank, but yeah, still a very solid team there. Interesting with the defence as well, having double Newcastle and double Spurs. I'm guessing he was targeting that Bournemouth fixture. I'll be interested to see what he does next week when he's got triple Arsenal attack versus Chelsea and double Spurs attack versus Liverpool. The fixtures on paper sound pretty horrendous, but this has been such a random season in terms of the results. You know, you've got Liverpool beating Man City and then losing to Nottingham Forest and Leeds. You've got Man City conceding 3 to Newcastle going on absolute riot. Brentford keeping Chelsea at bay with 0 goals conceded, and then conceding 4 to Aston Villa, and then Aston Villa going and being smashed 4-0 themselves. So yeah, it's all over the shop this season. Honestly, I wouldn't take fixtures too much into account. I think if you're playing a good player, there is high chance they will get returns. Look at Almiron. He's been returning so often. He's just in flying form. It doesn't really matter who he's playing at the moment. And honestly, some players are playing better in the tougher fixtures. I think Zaha's a player who's doing that. I think Salah's a player doing that. They're just all performing better in tougher fixtures. So yes, fixtures are good to target in some regard, but don't make it the be-all and end-all. There are definitely players even with a tough fixture on paper, that can get returns for your team. So I'd only be taking hits if you're definitely sure that that player you're bringing in is going to outscore the one you're taking out. Like Mitrovic could easily get something against Man City. You've got to be bringing in an attacker who you absolutely know is going to get a return. Maybe that is a Callum Wilson. He's definitely been someone who's on the cards for a lot of us, and he got his haul. Do you think he's going to haul again against Southampton? I could definitely see him getting a goal. I don't think he's going to score as highly as he's done previously, but he was involved in all 4 of Newcastle's goals, so he's definitely on my radar. But yeah, really high score for you there, Corio. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you've made it this far and you've enjoyed, for more weekly content along the way. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a break in the content over the World Cup period. I'm not going to be making content on the World Cup fantasy. I might make some videos here and there, but I'm probably going to take a break from all the FPL stuff. But if there's anything in particular you'd like to see on the channel, let me know in the comments. And also check my Twitter for posts that I put on there as well. Let me know how you guys did in the game week. And also, who is your random player that's going to do well this game week? I've seen a lot of YouTubers picking random players in the game to see, you know, we're using all these stats, but to be honest, it's so random this season that picking a random player might do you better. So I went on a wheel which basically had every single player's name in the game and decided to see who the wheel gave me to do well this game week. And the name that I got was Conor Gallagher. So the wheel believes that Conor Gallagher is going to be a player who does well this game week. So yeah, let's revisit that in next game week, see if Conor Gallagher can somehow get some points against Arsenal, if he even plays. Obviously, he's not a player I'd recommend you transfer in this game week, but let's see what happens. Maybe he'll outscore my captain. In fact, it's probably quite likely he'll outscore my captain. But I'll see you in the next FPL video.